Actually, my network is today troubling somehow.
Looks like
Yeah.
one
Now
more
it's on.
query of mine. Yes, now it's on. Yes.
Yes, now it's on. Um, it's a greatest opportunity to introduce Dr. Aniruddha Burmon today. He is our esteemed speaker for today's webinar in this particular web platform for dialogue webinar series in the month of September. And it's a greatest opportunity to hear Dr. Burmon for the second time because he was speaker in the previous webinar series also with web platform for dialogue. Web platform for dialogue has been created in this particular pandemic scenario where we actually lost our all connectivity with the academia. But let's be united and let's utilize this particular pandemic with a new normalcy, what we called nowadays. So he is one of the greatest person and a finest scholar in the field of English. He is a accomplished academician with rich experience in teaching, research, administration, training and development, relationship management, consulting in the distinguished career spanning around 40 years. Presently, he is designated as Associate Professor in Department of English, B.Ed section, University, BT and Evening College, Coach Bihar. So I welcome you, sir, for today's webinar series. And let's start your presentation in front of our audience.
Thank you, Dr. Swati, for your introduction. Good evening to all, whoever is here. Good evening, Mudiji. You are one of the first participants every time I see. Lovely to see you. And a lot of my trainees are out here today. That's great. So I'll start by presenting the PPT straight away. Only issue, at times it takes a lot of time. Just give me a second or so. I'll be basically talking about CHERRAPUNJI, where I have been brought up. New laptop, it takes time. Yeah. Now let's see if we can do it. Yeah. Can you see my slide? Is the slide visible?
It's coming, sir. Yes, it's coming.
Yeah. The wettest.
Sometimes it's taking. Yes, it's now on.
Yeah. Is the wettest place on the earth, CHERRAPUNJI, where I have been brought up. I've been very lucky to be there for most of my youth and childhood days. I'll be talking about CHERRAPUNJI myths, myths, and beliefs. Everything is working. Yeah. This is the map of India. This is a map of India, and you see, it was the northeastern part. It's a small state called Meghalaya. This green area, if you can see the arrow out there. Because a lot of people are not sure where this place is really. And this is, see, this red portion in this map is Meghalaya. This is Meghalaya, and mainly I will be talking about this small place called CHERRAPUNJI in East Khasi Hills district. Now, there are very interesting things. In the first place, Meghalaya is a part of the Deccan Plateau. Deccan, the South Indian Plateau, the Deccan Plateau, because of the continental drift, the platonic theory, The Deccan Plateau has been putting a pressure towards the northeast, and suddenly this small portion came out. And this force is continuing. That's why we have so much of earthquakes towards the north of Bengal, Assam, and towards all of the northeast. And they say like this region will come up once beneath the Himalayas and emerge towards the north of Himalayas. So that force is working continuously, the Deccan Plateau pressure. Now see, there is one or two more very interesting things. The people of the northeast, they are of Austric origin. They are basically from Kampuchea, Vietnam, that area. And the language, sorry, there is an error here. And their language is Mon Khmer. So nowhere in the northeast you'll find this any of these three combinations. Meghalaya is a part of the Deccan Plateau, is not a part of the northeastern region. The Khasis belong to the Austric origin, and they speak a language which belongs to the family Mon Khmer. What you hear in Kampuchea, Vietnam, and all those places, they're totally different. Their dress, their culture, their physique, their facial expression, everything is different. As I said, I'm talking about myths, and beliefs. The first myth. Now, people have a feeling, or people say mostly, even experts say, that rainfall decreased in CHERRAPUNJI because of the fact that trees have been cut down mercilessly. Now, I take my stand slightly differently. Now, CHERRAPUNJI, very interestingly, suppose if you cut down the trees in a place, rainfall will decrease in a place which is lower than this place. It should not affect in that place itself. Suppose you cut down trees in Shillong, there will be less rainfall in CHERRAPUNJI, the rain shadow area. If you cut down trees in CHERRAPUNJI, it's going to affect maybe Bangladesh or the lower regions of India, that side, which hasn't happened. Secondly, my contention is there is a system of sacred forests. Sacred forests, people there do not cut trees mercilessly. Some forests are preserved. They do have to cut trees because of coal and other things. But that is very limited. They go once a week or once a month. A date is fixed, a day is fixed when they go and cut trees. It's not the way people think. Now suppose, let's look at this picture. Now this I'm going to come to this later. Now see, look at the topsoil. If you look at the topsoil, see how much of soil is there. How much of soil? And mostly this is limestone out here. And look at the erosion that is taking place. Now see, this is a point. I have taken these photographs on purpose. This is a midpoint between Shillong and Cherrapunji. As you turn left, you go towards Dauki, the Tamil border, Bangladesh border. That you see that car coming from the left. And if you go straight, you go towards CHERRAPUNJI. Now, if you look at the hills, right from here, the previous one I shown was on this part. It was a Shillong side. Now, this place called Untangar, from Untangar, you see, if you look at the hills out here, so these are all bare hills. And all through the subdivision, you'll find this picture. Hills are bare. Now, suppose even if I have to agree that trees have been cut down, then the roots should have been there. Or even if they had uprooted them totally, the holes should have been there. It is just not possible that people have cut down trees all through the subdivision. It's just not possible. And there's one more thing. If you look at the limestones, the presence of limestones has an effect. You cannot have tall trees out here. And then there is one more question. I found out from the conservator of forests once that where there is a rainfall about 1,000 inches or so, the seeds cannot germinate. There's a kind of flooding situation. As the seeds cannot germinate, we cannot have trees. And because we cannot have trees, they can't hold the topsoil. And if they can't hold the topsoil, again we cannot have trees. This is a vicious circle. So this is a huge problem. It's not because of cutting down of trees, something else is there. In a lot of my seminars earlier, I had talked of this and people have agreed to this. And a lot of other people know, people from geography also, they know this. And this is not the issue. Issue is not cutting down trees, it is elsewhere. So you see here, the Sora division starts or ends. Sora is CHERRAPUNJI. CHERRAPUNJI is presently is the official name also, SAW, SOHRA. And which to locally it used to be called Sora even earlier. SAW is fruit. SAW is fruit and Ra is to carry. So there are a lot of fruits you get. You get a lot of jackfruits. You get a lot of oranges. You get a lot of bananas. You get a lot of you get a lot of honey. So if you do not have trees, how can you have these oranges? If you don't have tall trees, how can you have these jackfruits? They're there. They're there. But the issue is something else. Now, let's come to this. This is very interesting. I found out last year the present geological age is known as the Meghalayan age. Comes from the word Meghalaya. Now it runs from 4,200 years till the present. So it started some 2,000 years before the BCE, we call it, before Common Era, before the birth of Christ, before Common Era, till it's continuing. And what they found out is, there are two very important caves. And one cave I'll be showing you a little later. There's one more cave called the Mongolo Cave, where the cement factory is there. We had never ventured there in our youth. We were always told like this is the deepest, this is the longest cave, and there are a lot of diversions. You can go, you can lose your life there. You may not come back. So people have studied that, and this is not for gaming. this cave is just for research work only. The people from Canada came and they studied, and they found out from this cave called Mongolo Cave. Krem means cave. They found these are longest and deepest caves. One of the longest and deepest caves in India. I've already said. They've taken some, parts of these stalactites and stalagmites, and they've studied and found out that this gives a impression that of that old, uh, floods and the drought which affected last 2 centuries earlier. This is a very old, signs are there. So they've studied this, and well, I don't understand much of this. This is a part of the Holocene epoch or Holocene series, of which Meghalayan stage or the Meghalayan age is the uppermost and the latest, and is some 4,200 years old now. You see the others are there below. I'm not going to discuss. I'm not a student of geology really. If someone is interested, can study this. It's very interesting. I've already talked of this rainfall. There is another very important bit. Now, there is a story of snake worship. You find young boys and girls missing at times. Now, the story goes like this. In a village near CHERRAPUNJI, when the villagers used to go out for work, they had to cross a kind of a bridge or a culvert. Now, whenever they passed that culvert, the last person was always missing. So they have been watching this, and they were confused, like what's happening. Then, to their surprise and shock, they found out at the end of the bridge, there was a big hole where there was a snake which used to suck the last person inside and eat it, kind of a python or whatever. These days we can even talk of maybe anaconda, but I don't. Now, they sat in a meeting. Now, how to resolve this? Because they had to cross that bridge every time they went out. So, in that meeting again, one interesting thing happened was there was an European and a Bengali, most probably a person from Sylhet, and outsiders they are known as Dakhar, Dakhar. So Dakhar was also there, and this gentleman, this Bengali gentleman, could be of Sylhet origin. He gave the idea that let's make a pig out of iron, make it red hot, and we'll, drag it at the end of the group. So possibly that snake will, suck that pig and die. So they ultimately agreed to this theory. They moved out, very careful, and the last man was holding a pig. So, as thought, the snake did suck in the pig, the red hot pig, and it was simply the inside of the snake was really burnt inside, and it died. And people were really happy. They were joyous that the snake has died. So in the evening, they met together. They cut the snake into several pieces. Every household was given one piece. Even that European and that this Bengali gentleman was also given, but they refused. Now all the families, barring one, cooked the meat and they ate happily. One lady, one old lady, whose son was away in Shillong, waited that night, waited for her son to come back so that they could eat together the next day. Now, the lady dreamt at night that the snake came in her dreams, and the snake said, "You are a very good person. You have not eaten me. So, if you don't eat me, I'm going to make you, if you are going to worship me, I'm going to make you rich." So the lady waited for her son to come. And when the son came, they discussed this over and they finalized, yes, let's give it a try. So they didn't eat the meat, they started worshipping the snake. These people are known as Nongshonons. Nongshonons. Now, this practice started that they had to take the blood of a Khasi boy or a girl. Others hadn't eaten, so their blood wouldn't help. So a child is always missing. They put two, sharp bamboo sticks inside their nose. Blood comes out, and they say as they start worshiping, the snake comes and drinks that blood. Now this practice started continuing. Now people came to know who are the people who's doing it, but they would not touch them normally. They were made outcast. No one would marry with them. Only if they were caught in action, they will not be given to the police or anyone. They will simply beaten to death. And the story goes that these people did not die without giving their mantra, handing over their mantra to the next generation or someone else who will continue this. Now, there was a time when it was found that people are not getting Khasi blood. So the story slightly changed. Even the mixed blood will do. Then others would do. So even now today we find at times children are missing and killed. And even elderly persons are at times killed. We really don't know for what reason. And there are ways, they say like they will take a small portion of your clothes or dress, they cut something, they will take it away. That also helps, even if they're unable to catch you. And slowly you will shrink, you'll be dehydrated, blood will be dried up, and you will die. Similarly, there is another story that if you can give poison to a person and that person dies, you become rich. So people there take a lot of betel nut, betel leaf and betel nut. Now through the betel leaf, it is said they give the poison. Now it is said, because it is a very common practice, people use a lot of betel nut out there. If you keep it in your hand, and if your hand starts, getting moist, that means there is a poison. Normally, you are not supposed to say no when someone offers you betel nut, betel leaf and nut. Now, but people die at times. We really don't know about this. This is Nokalikai Falls. This is not the best of photographs. The previous photographs I really don't have. This is a very new photograph. Last 6 years back, when I visited there, I'd taken this photograph. It's in more water out there. It's kind of a shape of an S is to get as the water reaches to the bottom. It's almost coming out as if foams are coming out. Now this is known as Nokalikai Falls. This is supposed to be the highest in India and fourth highest in Asia. Now the story goes like this. There was a lady called Kalikai. Ka is a female gender marker, and U is a male gender marker. We see like Sri and Srimati. The Ka is Srimati, and U is a Sri. So Likai. Now, because ladies, women go out for work normally out there, men stay at home. She went out for work, and when she came back, she was, she started calling for his son, and he didn't respond. This, her husband, who was at home, had cooked some food for her and gave it to her. While eating that food, she found the meat, she found a finger, human finger. Then she realized, yes, this is maybe my son has been killed. Then she realized, yes, her husband is a Nongchuno. He's a snake worshipper. He rushed out of the home and she jumped from this waterfalls. And that is how it's known as, in Khasi, Shad Nokalikai. Shad is a K-S-H-A-D. Shad is a falls. And somehow we call it Nokalikai. I really don't know that what no really means. Some says water. I don't know where it comes from, but it is normally it's said Nokalikai. But a person of Khasi origin must say Shad Nokalikai. So there is such story. Now, near this Nokalikai Falls, if you go down, there is a place called Latkinsio. And this is not the case, this is actually not the right one. Umonoi village, near Umonoi village, you get a living root bridge. This root bridge of elsewhere actually. Now this is that root bridge. If you just walk down some 3,000 steps or so, very steep, very risky. And at Umonoi village, you will get this living root bridge. It's still growing, its life is not dead. And people cross from one place to another. There's another one. It's a double-decker root bridge. It's in Tirna village. And this is also a living root bridge. These are wonderful sights. You can see out there. As I said, I'm talking about mists. Yes, it's full of fog. It's rains a lot. And there's one more thing I'd like to share here. You might have heard of a place called Mosinram. Let me just try and show you that place. When I was talking of, I should have. If this is CHERRAPUNJI, this is Mosinram, where for some time rainfall was highest in the world. Now see, the aerial distance between these two places is just 6 kilometers. Just like if the monsoon air was low, then it would rain most of the ground. If the monsoon air was higher, it rained in Cherrapunji. That was the only difference. And for some time it went to Fiji Islands. Within this 5-6 kilometers, there could not be such a huge difference really. And now just come back to Cherrapunji. Yes. Now, see, this is another thing. Look at the spelling. This is called PEP. APEP. It's basically a tombstone. Now, Khasis, they have their indigenous religion. They're not Hindus. They're not Christians. They have their indigenous Saint Khasi religion. And by and large, a lot of people are now Christians. That's another issue. But at least 40% will be still Saint Khasi. Now, they used to cremate their dead. They would not bury them. And cremation, normally what we find is we take them to a burning pyre and everyone sees. But here, that burning pyre would not be seen from outside. It's covered throughout by clothes. And that ash is put in these peps. So you see 1, 2, 3, and 4 stone slabs, and the top one more. And inside you'll find earthen pot where the ashes are there. The same one I'm showing from a different angle. Inside that, see, I've just pushed in my lens inside one of these. See, this is what I had seen. These might be hundreds of years old, but they're still there. That's the beauty. There are more peps. This is in Upper Cherrapunji, but these are dying out. I mean, no one is looking after them. No one is, taking care of these. They'll be lost after some time. The place where I used to stay earlier, there are a lot of them at the side of the road, but nothing is there anymore. All are gone. See, these are not being taken care of. So there's a kind of barricade out here, but it's not helping. They'll be lost after some time. How long will these stones stay like this? So this is one more a place. I think this photograph was taken in 14, and next one I will show where I was taken in 16 or something. This is a place. There are some steps here. We could go up and sit here. If I find out old photographs, some of the old photographs are there. There is a post up here. This is also another pep, another tombstone. Very near to where we lived in the quarters. Look at the condition now here. It's in a real bad shape. It's in real bad shape. No one is looking after. Now, very interesting. That post on the top, there is some writing out there. I have been only be able to find out the meaning of last 2 words myself. The first word I asked a lot of my Khasi friends, but no one could give me the meaning of this. We could really decipher what it means. Next 2 is Briu Prithei. Briu means human beings. Prithei is earth. Could be something that in the memory of the people of the earth. some similar thing could have been written. Brew, B-R-I-E-W, and Pyrthei, P-Y-R-T-H-E-I. These two I can decipher. The first one I'm not sure what is there. Could be someone's name or could be something else. Okay. So maybe in the memory of the people of the earth, someone's ashes or ashes of a lot of people are there. This is another interesting thing. In CHERRAPUNJI, kings are there. Kings are known as Siems, S-Y-I-E-M. If you have read about Meghalaya, if you have read about CHERRAPUNJI and other places or castles, you know it's a matriarchal society, which I'm opposed to. It is not matriarchal, it is matrilineal. Women do not hold the absolute power. Women, only that surname is taken from the women. Even everything is being controlled by men. So we have the kings, we don't have the queens. They have a parliament. There's general parliament and parliament for women. That women's parliament never meets. And general parliament, all the men are there. The priests are all men. Ministers are all men. Now, so this is another pep of the kings. Now, the king, the CM, once the CM dies, it was a custom to feed all the people of the village. Whenever a single person is outside, that body is stored. That body is preserved somewhere. And in the meantime, maybe 2 or 3 more kings may have died. And all the bodies are being stored. And if there was a chance of feeding all people, then only they would cremate them because they've been able to feed everyone. So these keps, there are lots of ashes of kings are there. So this is one. See, look at the shape. See, this is on a stream. This is on a stream, and slowly things will be slowly. Slowly, maybe these will be eroded, and this will be lost for us. So no one is taking care. See, through this stream runs this. This is one web, and the two are side by side. Now see, on one of them, names of the kings have been engraved. It's sacred to the memory of Roba Singh, who I said is a male gender marker as Sri, CM of Chera state, who died on 30th November 1918. Now see, another date is given, 1926 or something, Chera 22, 3, and 23, I think that is where he was cremated. That is when. One more is, see, Ram Singh, 1875. This one was 1918. 1875. And later on, 1908, he was cremated. There is another one, Shubha Singh. Now, see, if you look at the scripts very closely, towards the bottom, you find a script similar to Bengali. Now, See, originally when the British came, they gave this Bengali script to the Khasis. And when it was found out that Khasis were becoming very clever, very intelligent, slowly this was removed and Roman script was imposed so that there was a division. Now, I have a feeling, I really don't know, this also could be that Nagari script of Sylhet that is died out now. This is a separate script in Sylhet, Nagari, Sylheti Nagari. This could be that. I really can't read most of it. I really don't know. One more interesting thing I want to share with you. Now, we have heard of Stonehenge in England. Here I find a Stonehenge. Now it's is a bad shape. In a Stonehenge, you get 12 such pillars, 12 such posts. Maybe a Stonehenge, people are not sure why a Stonehenge was there. Maybe it's a kind of a sundial kind of thing. Now all the 12 are not standing. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think backside there's 110. The 2 more are missing at the moment here. Now I think more have fallen. These are also peps, according to Khas. These are also tombstones. And there are some sitting arrangements just in front. They're all lost now. Could be they used to meet. You see, there are some sitting arrangements. Now here I get a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I get here. The same one here. All those slabs have fallen down. Here, how many do I see? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 11, 12. I see 12 out here. So it is circular vision. So I had to talk with the minister who was in charge of this earlier. I had to talk with a lot of people there, but no one seems to be very interested. These needs to be preserved. No one is looking after them. The buildings are coming up by the side. Now, this is another thing you'll find is a European graveyard. I'll show you one more. This is another European graveyard. There in CHERRAPUNJI. See, what is the difference? Could be, this could be of people who were of lower ranks. Maybe they could not pay so much for their tombstones, and here these people maybe they could pay. Should have shown you one more. There's a David Scott's monument, but now all the pictures are lost. It's a whole problem. David Scott was commissioner of that part. He died. His tombstone is there. Let's see if I can go to the Chrome and see if I can show you later. He was the one who was responsible for capturing their very beloved king Utirat Singh. He's the only person who fought, and ultimately he was caught and he was sent to Dhaka. He died in Dhaka jail. And David Scott, he died in CHERRAPUNJI. Now, near those steps, when we were young, as a school child, you see a giant wheel. They do possibly, for carrying water. So that is not there anymore, because initially the British tried CHERRAPUNJI as the capital of Assam. Then they found no, it's too much of rain, and for 6 months they cannot work. So they shifted it to Shillong later on. So those things were simply given up. You see, a lot of these arch bridges, very old ones. Very old ones. The center one is the most important thing. If you take out this center part, this bridge will collapse. No cement, no nothing. It's very wonderful. A lot of them I find. Just like as I'm still in CHERRAPUNJI, I think I should show you This is one waterfalls called Krung Krung Waterfalls. Because if you would like to pay a visit, you might see this.
Excuse me. Deepamala, I request not to present. Deepamala, I request not to present. Aniruddha sir, you just start presenting.
Yeah, it is still there. It is still there. Can I repeat? I have to get out and.
No. Deepamala, please don't present. Stop presenting. Deepamala, I request stop presenting. Thank you. Yes, sir. Please present.
Is it visible? Minus?
No. Because it's, you have to start.
This is the problem with.
Yeah, that's a problem with the student. They start present now button. Yes. Sorry for the interruption, sir.
Time here. Just trying to present. I was coming to Mosmai Cave. Give me a second because of the interruption. Oh, it's lost. Is it visible? Is it visible?
Yes, sir, it's coming.
Now, this is called the movement. Hello? Is it visible?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Now, this is known as the Mosmai Cave, Mosmai Falls. It is also known these days as the Seven Sisters Falls. I think it's little more political maybe, because they want to take all the 7 states of Northeast. Now, of course, 8 states. I don't know what we'll go. I think there are 7 streams. I am unable to cover here. In some of the old photographs, it's there. This one I couldn't get. You see very narrow streams at the moment because at the moment when we went, it was not raining. So this problem maybe because, but then during the rainy days, you'll hear the roar. You'll hear the roar of water from a very long distance, from 7 streams. Now, whether we call it Mosmai Cave or the Seven Sisters Cave, is a wonderful site overlooking Bangladesh. It was my right here. And this is the Mosmai Cave. You know, CHERRAPUNJI has wonderful caves. I have talked of the Mongolo Cave. This is the Mosmai Cave. I can show you. There are wonderful caves even in Garo Hills. There is caves in Joy. These are the longest caves in Asia. And the ones in Garo Hills are living caves, they say, because the water runs through. And this cave we had gone in number of times. It was right whenever we went, it was blocked. We couldn't go. And for the fear, like if the road is blocked once. Now, of course, a lot of people are there, and you can see a light up there. It's very, very artificial now, but it's safe. This is, see, look at the stalagmites coming down and stalactites which are going up. You can see because it's all lighted now. You can easily see. It's a beautiful sight inside. Look at this. These are wonderful things we can see inside. It is watery. You could go out this way. On the right, it's not possible. It's blocked. This way we could come out. Look at these stalagmites. Wonderful. Wonderful, features. This is a village down this Mosmai Cave, Mosmai Falls. Now, I'd asked this question: how come people went that far down? I had a camera. I'm sorry, that camera is not in a good condition now. It's a lens of 1000x zoom. I could get this picture. Someone said it's possible that those days all the rowdy elements, all the criminals, is to be sent down so that they cannot come up and create problem for the people up in the villages. So they stayed there. Maybe true. I don't know. Look at the typical shape of the roof. That's normally what we used to observe there. This is another falls as you go towards CHERRAPUNJI. Wakaba Falls. Very close. I taken from the source. What are the Wakaba Falls? And one more thing I wanted to show you. This is very interesting. Out here, those tombstones of the kings are there, very close by. And we used to go up there. There was a government dispensary up there. We used to go up this way. Now, these slant posts, they're very interesting. They're there for hundreds of years. My connection is last 63, 62, 63 years. It was there. It was much there, much before. But these are standing in the street. They are still there. I don't know what mechanism, what architecture. So this is one photograph I had taken from with that 100x, 1000x zoom from CHERRAPUNJI. This is a place called Chatok in Bangladesh. It's the best view I could get. There's no problem. I mean, some people thought my hand must have shaken, but it's nothing such. This is a little better than I could see with my bare eyes. Chatok is around maybe 30 to 40 kilometers aerial distance, and by road maybe is 45 to 60 kilometers there. It's a wonderful view in Indigo. So this is all I can share about CHERRAPUNJI at the moment. I don't have a few more photographs. I've very unluckily a lot of things. I mean, you can't even store in the drive anymore. So I'll try to save something in the Google Drive maybe in future stuff. And there are lots of this is the Khasi dress, typical Khasi dress during the dance. My sister and my son out there. The men's dress and the women's dress. Women have very heavy ornaments and heavy headgear. And one wonderful sight I had got once in the evening, because it's always mostly clouded. Thank you. That's all I've got to show at the moment.
A wonderful visit to CHERRAPUNJI. Thank you so much with your lens, with your explanation. Actually, I was traveling with you. So thank you so much, first of all, from my personal gratitude. And like we can actually visualize the myth and the mist and the journey you have gone through with this. So it's a wonderful explanation from your side. I think we have thank you. We have wonderful feedback from the student, particularly. I think most of your student.
Yeah, number of them are there. Yes.
So from Shushuta Sri Chattopadhyay, the tombstones more than 100 years old. Then the custom and the site should be heritage site. They should be protected as cultural heritage. Is there any government interpretation or any initiative taken by the government to protect them?
No, nothing, Sutosri, nothing. Because I had tried, I talked to one of the ministers, I tried to a lot of people. But people are simply not very callous about this. These are going to be lost very soon. So that's why I took it up here. Maybe if you could talk to the archaeology department or someone who can help. Because this also needs some carbon dating. Because things are so old, how old we don't know. The people had come over from Cambodia, Vietnam, coming over here and settling and doing so many things. And so unless we have some carbon dating, some history of what people have written something, but this part is not covered at all. How do we get the concept of Stonehenge out there? England, we know in the very early years of England, it was there, some millions of years back, but it is there, it is very recent. Even that is also losing.
Shutusri, thank you so much for pointing out this, because this particular session will definitely be a remarkable session. And I think in this way, with this web platform for dialogue is the forum to share the views, and it should be the protected by the government. And I have some connection with the government in the reformation section. So definitely Abira Bhattacharya, she will definitely do something with this. So this session will be in the YouTube, so people can actually know about it, and it should be restored and it should be protected as a cultural heritage. And this is the starting point where we can actually not to only look at policy but act policy. So it's not only just to reaction, but some action should be there. So thank you so much, Dr. Burmon, for this wonderful session. And with your photographs and everything, with the visual effect, we can actually visualize the scenario, what is been there, and how much enriched the Northeast is actually. We don't know, so many facts that we don't know, and so many myths have been there, that the indigenous people are very dangerous and, they could do anything, they would be harmful. Lots of myths have been there, and they could do kala jadus and some dark inside.
I wouldn't have any idea.
Actually, thank you so much for putting some light and torch with this aspect also. So I'm really open the floor to the audience, and if you have any observation, if you would like to ask something to Dr. Burmon, you can ask.
Sir, I would like to ask you, what about the coal mines? When I visited in 2014, a lot of areas on the way towards CHERRAPUNJI, the caves that you were showing, there were coal mines dug over there. And it's destroying the environment, beautiful greenery over there, I guess. So what is that exactly? It was quite far from the roadway. It was, but what is that exactly? And is it destroying the nature over there? Hindrance?
There are some coal mines, yes. There are some coal mines, but then see, these are not the coal mines we get in Bihar or Jharkhand and all those places. These are very detrimental to the environment. So most of these are banned now. They cut from the sides, and it can be hazardous anytime.
So is it being avoided by the government, or government is still promoting that?
Government is not promoting this. I think they are mostly banned now. Because we used to get some peat coal, some coal from there, because charcoal is there, but yes, this is a separate coal, peat coal or something we get from there. But that is very difficult now. Toai side there are some mines in Jointe Hills, but this side, CHERRAPUNJI side, all these are banned now.
And the church and the yards, that graveyards that you had shown, yes, it was not protected. It was not visited by. It was barren, totally barren. No protection. No historical sites. Like nothing was there. It was totally barren. No, till far you couldn't see a single person site over there. Yeah. Why is that so? Like
people are very callous about this. I'm sorry to have lived with the people there. Very lovable people, but they're very simple folk. They don't realize the importance of this.
But the children are quite, but still I will say that the government is doing a lot. I cannot deny with that. Ramakrishna Mission school where I visited, it was much more developed. More than my village
Yes,
Ambani school. Like
yes, yes,
the national anthem was going on early in the morning. They have maintained a very nice science library over there.
yeah,
Like it was both the libraries over there were very well maintained. The children were
yeah.
very well dressed up there at each position. Even the people over there are still awakened. Why are they not doing anything for Cherrapunji, like for the government? I'm sure this mission, Ramakrishna mission, has been doing something about that. But then why isn't it developing that particular area? Though it's far from Shillong, but still there are scopes.
CHERRAPUNJI, I am a student of this Ramakrishna mission also. And my dad was then when we were there, my dad was the English teacher, and he used to look after the library because I had worked in that library unofficially with my dad. But see,
Yeah.
there is, the trouble with Ramakrishna mission is, I'm sorry, I mean I have to criticize also there. There is no snowballing effect in administration. So one person comes as secretary, he disapproves of what has been done earlier and starts anew. In 60s, in early mid 60s or late 60s, there were some 5,000 books in the library. And even I remember when I was doing my masters, I got some 21 books from that library, English literature, because there was one secretary, Maras Mohan, from Tamil Nadu. He had done all this. Now suddenly, little later, we found lots and lots of books were simply sold away, just like papers. We lost wonderful books. They're not there anymore.
I'm sure I saw them. I saw many books over there. I saw the science library, the museum over there was wonderfully
Yes,
maintained.
yes,
We have recorded our views also over there. But the thing is that still, after that also, I didn't see Cherrapunji. Totally, it was not that like it could have been developed, but
yeah,
it wasn't.
yes.
It wasn't. Though
No
I
one is
expect.
bothered.
I think it's similar with other bureaucracy and administrative
And
mechanism. I think
as
yes.
Dr. Kajol is saying, in that museum, because I knew it earlier, I found out newspaper cutting
Yes, it
about
was there.
railways, railways in Cherrapunji. Railways in Cherrapunji.
Yes.
There are remnants. There are remnants found, but no one is trying to find out.
Unfortunately, my old disk got corrupted. Otherwise, I would have shared few of the pictures. It was like
Yeah,
I was taken near about 1,000 pictures of that Cherrapunji in Shillong itself. So
yeah,
it was,
yeah.
yeah, like lovely views. The caves you're talking about, I slept very badly over there. So I got reminded when you showed me. When actually that cave it has an entrance, and above that you have one small, this much place where you have to enter inside. Just climbing
Yeah,
the
yeah,
stairs, it is a very, very little place where a human cannot go. But still, we went inside to take pictures. And the water was trickling from up. I was scared about
yes,
my digital
yes,
camera. I was
yeah,
scared. Still, I went over there and took the pictures. And I lost those because of my hard disk got corrupted. And otherwise, that I slept very bad because for my children, I was collecting those for my children in Ambani school. And I thought I'll show it to my children. I showed them also. But the thing is that my primary as a primary sources, I wanted to bring out them these things of northeast to Gujarat. So that is why I tried my best and surveyed a lot. And what you were saying, it reminded me of fresh of everything, like what I observed. Yeah, thank you so much.
Actually, lack of time. Otherwise, I could have shown you something about Ramakrishna Mission also. I have got the photographs here only,
I
but
was
maybe some
expecting
other
that.
time.
I was expecting that because that was a school which shows that there are 99.9% chances where this can be developed. But
Yeah,
because of
yeah,
these coal mines is destroying the whole area, and that region that you showed with that seven rivers flowing
yeah,
together, sisters. That was also a beautiful site where we stopped and we had. Then there was few jungles also inside. We showed the tribal people over there. They used to live, but we could not find one tribal men. I tried to search one tribe, but I could not see any particular tribe of that locality over there. I went. So inside
thank you.
the
Yeah.
jungle, are they
Thank you.
still inside the jungles?
Uh,
Find any tribe over there inside?
Pardon?
Thank you.
Do you still find any tribe over there inside the jungle where near Seven Sisters. There is a huge jungle over there where you cannot
Oh
go
yes,
inside.
down there, I showed that picture.
Okay.
There is
There
a
are
yeah, there are people there. There are
because
people there.
my camera, my net got disconnected for 15 minutes.
Oh,
So I missed that. I'll see in YouTube. I'll once again
yeah,
check.
please, yes.
Yeah.
Lucky I had got that shot with that old camera.
Shutosri, sir, Shutosri, have some question regarding the snake worship. In one story about waterfall, that the husband,
Yes,
son,
yes.
yes.
I've read that. Yes,
So, is there an indigenous religion or any mythological
it is
belief?
not religion. It's not a religion. It's just a belief of some people. It's just a belief that snake worship goes on. But the reality is that people or boys and girls are killed. That reality is very much there. It's got nothing to do with any religion. It's just a belief.
Thank you so much. There is a very, very important part in the last presentation, that nothing is related with religion. Religion is a part, belief and culture is another part. That we always try to overlap with religion, beliefs, and everything, we got confused. So thank you so much for pointing out this wonderful explanation. We are almost at the end of the discussions. I am personally thank you so much, sir, Aniruddha sir, and all the participants over here, because initially when we actually started the session, it was 2 to 3 participants. So we got very confused and not so much motivated, but with your presentation, with your presence, we are very blessed that we have wonderful participants over here who patiently be with us and share your stories. Thank you so much, Dr. Kajal. Thank you, Dr. Arsad. And all of you. Thank you so much, students who have participated today. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Bye. Good night.